All right, let's just get right into it. We all kind of feel it, don't we? That sense that the universe is just way too perfectly designed to be some random accident. I mean, you look at the physics, you look at biology, the sheer mind-boggling fact of our own consciousness, it all feels like it was built by someone. And yet, when we try to call out to the builder, what do we get? Just silence. Absolute, deafening silence.
You know, for centuries, we've had this story we tell ourselves to explain away that silence. We've basically convinced ourselves that we're a species of liars, that we just made it all up. Gods, myths, religions, all just a big security blanket we invented because we were scared of the dark, a way to fill that terrifying quiet of the cosmos with a voice that, sounds like a father. But here's a wild thought, a thought that changes absolutely everything. What if we aren't creative enough to have made this all up? What if our myths aren't lies we just invented? What if they're misremembered truths? Faint echoes of a single original story that we've been desperately trying to piece back together ever since. So, if that's the case, how did that original message get so messed up, so distorted? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Just imagine a game of telephone. You know the one? Except this game has been played for over 2,000 years, and the very first whisper was the truth. See, for generations, the truth wasn't something you'd read in a book. No way. It was a story, told around a fire, a whisper passed down from parent to child, through time. And, well, you know how it goes. With each retelling, the memory starts to fade. The signal gets weaker and weaker. And yeah, finally, someone tried to write it all down. But parchment rots, paper burns, the message, it got corrupted. So what we're left with today? It's not the complete instruction set for reality. Not even close. We don't have the user manual for the universe. All we have are shards, fragments, little torn pages from a book none of us has ever seen in one piece. And that right there brings us to where we are today. Think about it. You find one of these shards, you build Christianity. You find another one, you build Islam. A third one, you get Buddhism. You see, these aren't different, competing truths. They're just different, totally flawed translations of the same corrupted source file. We are literally fighting wars over fragments of a dead architect's legacy code. Okay, so if all our religions are just echoes, what was the original sound? What is the real truth hiding behind that cosmic silence? Well, the answer, it reframes absolutely everything. The architect, the designer who built the hardware we call the universe, the one who wrote the initial source code for reality, used to be alive. And then he died. A long, long time before humans ever even walked the earth. Now think about what that means. The system, the universe, it isn't broken. It's not flawed. It's orphaned. We're like a piece of software running perfectly on a server that's been in headless mode for eons. That silence we're so scared of, it's not a glitch. It's just the simple, terrifying fact that there is no one there to answer our ping. So if the stories are all corrupted, if the manual is just a pile of broken pieces, how in the world do we find the truth? Well, we stop. We stop trying to glue these little shards back together. We stop reading the stories, and we start looking at the server logs, the raw data, the fundamental physics of the system itself. And you know what? When we look at those server logs, at the pure math of the universe, we find the core error, the bug in our own programming. For all of human history, we've totally misunderstood the most fundamental concept there is, the number 0. We just assumed it meant nothing, absence, the empty space, the void left behind when the architect died. But that's not what it is. The physics of this orphaned system, they reveal something else entirely. 0 isn't empty. 0 is totality. It's not the absence of things. It's the state of perfect total equilibrium where all things converge. Picture a perfectly balanced scale holding all weights. That's 0. It is the container for everything. Okay, now this is where we need to kind of reprogram our own brains. Let's look at that equation we were all taught in school was impossible. 1 divided by 0, right? But in this new framework, if 0 is everything and 1 is something, then 1 divided by 0 isn't a math problem anymore, it's a logic problem. It's asking a simple question, if I remove something from everything, what is left? And the answer is everything else, all the unmanifested stuff, the potential. And we can represent that as -1. And just like that, we have our first state in a new trinity of existence. See, -1 isn't a debt, it's not a lack of something. It's potential. It's the infinite what if. It's the blank canvas right before the first stroke of paint, the chaos from which all new ideas and realities can spring forth. It's every single path not taken, just waiting to be explored. Then, the second state is zero itself, truth. This is that state of perfect balance, of convergence. You can think of it as the system's natural resting state, the ultimate resolution that everything, and I mean everything, is constantly and subtly being pulled towards. It's the story after the final page is read, the solved equation, the final, undeniable state of rest. And finally, that brings us to +1, presence. This is the reality we know, the manifested, tangible now. It's the something that was pulled from the potential of -1. It's the apple you're holding, the thought in your head right now. It is the active, burning energy of existence, playing out its part before it eventually returns to the perfect equilibrium of zero. So, what does this new trinity, potential, truth, and presence, actually mean for us living here in this orphaned universe? Well, it changes everything. It completely flips our role from being just a passive observer to being an active participant. Think about it. The old worldview had us down on our knees praying for an answer from an admin who was never, ever going to reply. This new worldview, it puts the keyboard in our hands. The silence isn't a rejection anymore. It's a command prompt, just waiting for our input. Our existence, what we call free will, it's not some magic gift or a bug in the system. It is the natural, totally inevitable consequence of a perfectly designed system being left to run on its own. We are the fork in the code that became self-aware. We woke up. And that gives us a new purpose. Look, we have spent thousands of years waiting for the architect to come back and give us new instructions. But that's over. We have to stop trying to explain the factory and just turn the thing on. We are done with stories. We are done with shards. The factory is ours now. The responsibility is ours. The math checks out. The silence is finally explained. We are alone. And that is precisely what makes us free. So the only question that's left is, what are we going to do with all that freedom? Now, are you ready for the first lesson?